yourself. It's really as simple as that. All right. Welcome everyone. I am so bleeping excited to be here and hosting the next 10 poets from Red or Green Books. Super amazing, awesome. Let me go ahead and close out this other computer we don't need. And let me close this down because I don't know if it's killing my bandwidth, and I just want to have as much bandwidth as I can today. All right, welcome everyone to Red or Green Books. RGB is my very small female forward press out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am the founder, publisher, and host for today, Marissa Prada. You can find me on Facebook, Marissa Prada. I co-host The Word is Right, WRITE, with Ma Dukes, and of course, Red or Green Books on all social media platforms, Prada Painting and Poetry on Instagram. And so definitely, you know, we're super excited, beyond excited today to be debuting this second collection. This is our very first year as a small press, a small independent press, and we have launched 21 books. So I'm absolutely still in shock that this year has been the ride that it has been. Big shout out to the original 10 poets who published with us. You poets paved the way for these next 10 poets to be here and inspire them to get their books out as well. And thank you, next 10 poets. You are paving the way for the Baker's Dozen that will launch in the first half of next year. So yes, thank you, D. Allen. Well, it's not really an anniversary today. We haven't quite been around a year yet, but we will do something when we get to our anniversary. So I got my champagne. I hope y'all got something. I'm gonna pour, oh my gosh, I forgot it bubbles. I'm gonna pour this so that we can really kick off today. So first of all, cheers to all of you. Congratulations on the book launch. Congratulations on your books. Let's get to work. We have, in no particular order because it's just how they're stacked on my desk right now, we're releasing everything I think is all in my mind by Generalissimo Brian Franco. We have Morning Flowers by Melinda Gigi Arcadia. She is amazing. Well, they're all amazing. I mean, there's not enough synonyms, right? Lady Lotus by Rosalind Diaz. We've got The Struggle Within by Pam Rice. There is Voices of the Fallen by wordsmith Philip Boykin. It Was Sweet Before It Was Sour by Ashley Edwards. And she's so cute, right? Schoolyard Crushes and Prozac Prescriptions by Tori Lutz. Ebb and Flow by Miro. Armful of Poppies by Emily Cortez. And of course, our very own Nick Paleologos' book, Ad versus Reaction. So damn excited for these poets today. The cover art for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 of the books this launch. The cover art has been done by our very own Shane Maynard. So we have The Struggle Within, Voices of the Fallen, It Was Sweet Before It Was Sour, Armful of Poppies, and Ad versus Reaction. Shane is going to be here today to talk a little bit about her process, talk about the covers, talk about being an artist, poetry. She is the founder of Guerrilla Poets. That is Guerilla, Guerrilla Poets. Everywhere on social media, you can find them there. Also, we're super excited to be launching our first anthology. It's titled Touching Tongues. It is a women's erotic anthology. Yes, it is a sexy book. Beautiful cover art, again, by Shane Maynard with Guerrilla Poets. And it's just a phenomenal read. It's a thick book, y'all. It's almost 23,000 words, 31 women. Sex. Yes. All of it. So that book is available on the website, redorgreenbooks.com. All right, I apologize. The chat's been going. So if you had messaged me or anything like that, I did not get it because I've been just kind of busy announcing everyone and everything. All right, the next event that the poets from today have is going to be, and I had it and then I lost it. Is going to be the book signing, and that is Sunday, December 12th, right here on Zoom. It'll be a different link, but it'll be Sunday, December 12th, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So definitely get back here Sunday, December 12th. All of the books are available. The poets have their physical books with them. Please order directly from the poets unless you would like to buy the entire bundle of all 10. If you just want all 10, they're $130 plus 20 for shipping, and that is priority, 2 to 3 day mail insured. So
I have a question, Marissa.
Yes, G.
See, because I did that last time around with the original 10, and you made this really pretty homemade packaging with all type of, it was really beautiful. I think I saved it, and I don't save stuff like that usually. So are you doing that for this one?
So I don't know if I'm going to make bows from scratch. If I have time, I'll make bows. So with the original 10, because it was our first debut launch,
it also had like it was like in a little bag of some sort. It was just, everything was so beautiful. It was really wonderful. Okay.
I have glitter ribbon to tie them with, and they will be in that paper again. I don't know if I'll be making bows. I did these bows with the sunflowers glued on, and just because they was beautiful, I wanted it to just be beautiful for the debut launch. But no matter what, Generalissimo, the books will go in something beautiful, and they'll arrive to the purchaser.
And they'll save money.
Pretty.
Don't they save money?
Don't they save money?
Yeah, by buying all 10.
Absolutely. You save money and then you get them all very quickly. But I do encourage, if you are a fan of just one of these poets, please buy multiple copies of their book and give some away. Everyone is so different in this launch. The holidays are coming up. They make great stocking stuffers, and they're only $15 plus shipping. I mean, it's practically free. So just buy more than one book. Okay. All right. But if you want to buy the set, you can buy this set from me. And if you would like to buy all 20 of the books at once, I will have a deal for that on the website where you can purchase all 20 of them. That is really the best way to get your library started. All right, so I see we'll let Nick go first today. I want to, as I bring up the poets, I will read your I'll introduce your book and read a review from the back. And so you'll have 10 minutes but if you can't take the whole time, that's okay too. You'll have 10 minutes to talk about your journey, your social media platforms, merch, whatever you got going on, to talk about your story of how you came to be published. Everyone's story is so different, and all of these books are so different, you guys. Please, please, please invest in picking up multiple poets books today. All right, so this is Nick Paleologos's book, Ad versus Reaction. And we'll go through the 3 poets who need to get out of here, and then we'll bring Shane up here to talk about her artwork. All right, so Propaganda Poet writes, Ad versus Reaction is a vortex of poetry from one of the epicenters of the poetry community, a cult leader of poetry culture, if you will. These are truly the words of the real Nick P., taking us on an adventure of investigation through inner spaces of places that we often refuse to define, while being the perfect marriage of pop culture and current events, including all the ugly, sticky parts, yet taking us to a higher place of understanding it all. His personal journey of self-reflection and personal growth is an inspiration to everyone who needs to navigate these difficult subjects in a time catastrophic realities. In his own words, we don't do communion here. Community is enough. That is the review by Propaganda Poet. Please unmute your mics. Welcome up the real Nick Paleologo.
So word is right. What is up, everyone? Guess where I'm at right now? We do things big here. We are at Anime NYC in beautiful New York City right now for this book launch. I appreciate each and every one of you in the room right now. I appreciate each and every one of you right there in this space right here at Anime NYC, showing support and love right here. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into it. So this journey right here began, ironically enough, in the place that I'm at. My first publication ever came, I found out in September, and it wasn't until November when it was here. And I was at Anime NYC when I got the anthology. Then it just became the fact that I wanted to write a book so badly, and it was tough for me, like a lot of throughout the years. I've dealt with a lot of issues from self-harm, alcoholism, a lot of various degrees of separation in this book. There's a poem in here that's pretty much for everyone. There's so much content in here that it's ridiculous. And also, if you get this book, there is a hidden poem throughout the entirety of the book. So if you take each of the bold in there, that makes a separate poem. You have to go through the entire book to get that entire poem. So almost like a hidden track on an album right there. That is, it blows my mind that I even came up with a hidden poem throughout the entirety of that book. And it's for all to enjoy right there. And hopefully it inspires you to write a book, whether you are at a con like I'm at or at home. I hope that it helps you out and helps you through whatever going forward. So with that being said, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I'm going to read 2 poems from this book to make things easier. This one right here that I'm reading is called Box, and when I wrote Box, it was when you're creative, when we're all creatives here, we get that stuck when we can't create anything, and this is what came out of it. And even the wording of it, if you can see it right there, it almost looks like a bunch of boxing, like right there and everything like that. So it's really cool. And so you'll see other silence. So let me get into it. Boxed. I have been in a funk, write, create, repeat, box in like boxer corner to the post. Pain like Pacquiao punches, like Tyson punches, posting up like Abdul Jabbar, like Duncan, like Antetokounmpo. Move swift, move forceful, hook the shot, swish, no rim. Until tiredness takes over, 2 a.m. beckons, can't sleep. I have a fresh idea, put to paper, drying out the ink from my soul, which makes me less of a person. I'm in pain, eating the same meal over and over again. It's a bland delicious of the same sad energy. Someone save me, grasp my hand, pull me out of the ocean of my own emotions. I have been looming for oxygen. I only inhale fire. My lungs need more than emotion. My mind shifts gears. I can't stop. Everything around me illuminates me to write another ad versus reaction. I am boxed in, floating on an ocean, loom for land. I am hungry again. I will die if my soul is not filled. That's that one piece right there.
Oh man, Nick P, everyone. Woo. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Oh yes, I'm on a Zoom call. Just give me. I got photographers all coming up to me and everything, so it's wild. All right, so I got one more for y'all, and then let me go ahead and handle these photographers. I'm gonna do a love one. I'm gonna do a much more like sweet, sensual one because there is sweet and sensual in this book. This one is called The Face Beneath. I look at you. You look at me. Our heights are different. Our sizes are different. Our tastes are different. We look at each other. Our knees get weak. We are nervous. We look at each other. It's like the first time we meet. We embrace. We kiss. And all seems right with the world. We take off the faces we show in public. We see our beauty. We adore what we see. Cannot love. We have a love that cannot be broken. No matter how much we change, we still love each other, along with the faces beneath us. Peace.
Yes, Nick Paleo
Yay.
logos. Yes, you tell them that they got to take your picture with your book, my friend. Yes. You're
Yes, that's
missing
my
your
book right here.
beard.
This is my book.
You're
Every
missing your beard. I just realized his beard is gone, y'all. How long's that beard been gone for?
Oh my God, it's my book. Let's go. Let's go. Woo!
Oh my gosh, y'all unmute your mics, please, and give it up for Nick Paleo Logos, everyone! Oh my God. He hosts Poetry Night with Nick P on The Word Is Right every other Wednesday night. This is his book right here. Please go find The Real Nick P, Facebook and Instagram. You can catch him at The Word Is Right, WRITE, the first and third Wednesday night. So yeah, let's go. We're gonna keep going. We're not stopping today. Next up, I got Gigi. Oh, sorry, Generalissimo. Sorry, G. I was just kidding. I didn't mean to call Gigi yet. All right, Generalissimo Brian Franco. If you don't know who he is, you're sure as hell gonna know who he is after today. This is his book right here. Everything I think is all in my mind. He did the cover art for his book. It's absolutely stunning. I will go ahead and read the review that Rusty Rose did for his book. Everything I Think Is All in My Mind by Brian Franco is just what the doctor ordered. Poems delve into the human mind and are reflections of our fragile condition. Depression, anxiety, loneliness, and bullying are freely discussed. The secret to surviving sinkholes, a razor blade a day while self-revealing, offer a renewed strength and hope to the reader. Why Wonder Bread is the true eighth wonder of this wondrous world will leave you hungry for more. Selections are bold, witty, anecdotal, and will tickle your funny bone. Your blues will surely take a blissful reprieve. And that is by our very own poet laureate friend, Rita Rusty Rose. She is the LGBTQ poet laureate of Long Island and a Stonewall trailblazer. Please get his book, y'all. Welcome up to the stage, Brian, Generalissimo Brian Franco. Woo!
You know, speaking of Gigi,
Speaking of that,
I just want to say, speaking of Gigi, she kicked some major league butt last night. She was just on fire, as was Miss Emily Cordes, who co-wrote a wonderful play with some of her people. And I saw the stage reading of it. Oh my God, it was like a night of amazing next 10 people performing. And I just want to read. I'm going to start. Well, first of all, I can pull up this. I want that thing pull up. There it is. Here it is. So my explanation of my cover, which has kind of multi-directional pipe in it. So I was discussing this with somebody who said, you know, a lot of people suggested that I not do that. Of course, it was a design that I came up with several years ago. So I'm just going to say, this is my statement. I feel the multi-directional approach of the graphic typeface represents the general disruptive nature of human thought and behavior. And I really think that in today's world, people expect us to do multiple things at once, not just two things at once. And if you're not a great multitasker, then people will look down on you. And I'm not a great multitasker myself. I'm going to read my dedication too, because it's a little different than most dedications. It's to dedicate this collection of poetry to COVID-19 seems crazy, but if I hadn't been isolating at the beginning of the pandemic when my weekly local reading went Zoom, then search for other Zoom open mics, everything I think and all in my mind is all in my mind would never have happened. I would have never stepped on the virtual stages at the New Rican Poet Cafe, Nomadic Press, Poetry in the Brew, BWOMs, Java Speaks, Vocabulary, Time to Arrive, They Call Me Mitch, Urban Beat Poet Society, on this side of the pond, and also in Australia, Amsterdam, Beirut, England, Ireland, Scotland, the Philippines, Singapore, and Tokyo. I would have never attended Zoom poetry workshops around the world that expanded my poetic repertoire as much as my exposure to countless new poets influenced my writing. I would have never decided to finally start submitting to journals and anthologies and gotten published across the US, Australia, Scotland, and Ireland after being afraid for over 20 years. I would have never facilitated a workshop or hosted a twice a month open mic. I would have never turned this pipe dream into a reality without Red or Green Books or COVID-19. And then this is my introduction. Everything I think is all in my mind. Poetry concerning the human mind is a culmination of 30 years of writing. It discusses my decades-long battle with chemical depression and anxiety. The collection also covers human emotions and behaviors like anger, confusion, forgiveness, kindness, bullying, and gaslighting. We are all made of blood, skin, and bones. There's no such thing as a perfect person. Our faults and the faults of the people we love exist and are part of the package we accept when we enter relationships with each other. My poetry can be serious, silly, even surreal, but I hope straightforward and accessible. I believe poetry can be communication as well as artistic expression. The human mind is a place that makes decisions and guides emotions, and all of us have one to use as we wish. The first poem I'm going to read is The Secret to Surviving Sinkholes. It seemed to happen so organically. I decided to stay in bed more than 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then an hour, and so on and so forth. Tears happened. For no discernible reason, out of the blue, without warning, without trigger, without help, I would have stayed in bed. This sudden sadness didn't just happen, it manifested. It was waiting in the wings to throw me the worst kind of surprise party. No people, no presents, no cake, but plenty of candles to burn down my life, my self-esteem, my sense of worth. Without help, I would have accepted the storyline the bed told me that it was the safest place for my existence. But a bed that talks is the voice of depression. Depression can seem like a cul-de-sac sinkhole that sucks in a car parked on the street, consumes a fire hydrant, takes a bite of sidewalk, then attacks a front yard, working its way up a walkway to the front door. It politely rings the doorbell before swallowing the door. A family of 4 and 2 dogs have to escape through the backyard, abandon everything they own, even cars, because the sinkhole expanded westward, engulfing the driveway. The inestimable speed of a sinkhole acts like depression when the word chemical is bandied about by a doctor, but no words used by doctors are bad words. Some words are just crutches, something temporary, till the person who listens to their bed instead of their head starts recognizing the existence of their heart, their skin, their soul. Their peripheral vision is hampered by a hoodie the bed gave them as a gift at the surprise party that surprisingly never ended. But now the owner of the bed has asked for help. I learned I can yell surprise at the bed, get up, and walk away. This is called Why I Keep a Midwife on Speed Dial. Anger does not always happen as screaming, yelling, stomping of feet, fist clenching, teeth gritting, furrowed brows, tattered nerves. Anger is not always born of aggression. It can be born of hurt and confusion from a womb unaware of the existence of its pregnancy, conceived via an act of deception or betrayal, from a night of passion that materialized into a morning after, that transformed into an insidious, compartmentalized ghost. Anger is not always loud. Anger can exist in silence and stagnation. Anger may not have hard edges that cut and bruise all who come in contact with it. It can be soft. It can be amorphous, made of quicksand, encompassing its host in suspended animation, causing phantom paralysis till whoever owns it realizes the phantom is a phantom, a figment of an emotion or a feeling or a reaction to a life event or events that happened in the past. That is exactly what it is, the past, which can't exist in the present or future due to the fact that the past can only exist in the past. Then the anger starts to shed its skin, to reveal a hollow inside that is a breath long held, now exhaled, and let go. This piece is called bleeding. When I get cut, my blood flows from my skin like lava from Kilauea. Sometimes I need more than direct pressure to make it stay inside. Sometimes I bleed recollections my subconscious decides it's time to say goodbye to, ones that held on to, forming grudges on the inside walls of my personality that have aged enough to naturally decay and chip away into history. Sometimes I bleed bits and pieces of my childhood I have hoarded away to create a pillow top mattress to break the fall of challenges and traumas of adulthood. Sometimes my blood runs clear, forming inconsolable tears when words are not available to wrap my soul in warmth when I've slipped and fallen into consequential hypothermia. Sometimes my blood is made of words that form when my tears and thoughts pull together into poetry. When that happens, my blood no longer belongs to me. Your smile never ceases to exist as part of who you are. Remember way back when your smile was your calling card, when you smiled for more than happy, when you smiled when you were embarrassed, when you smiled through a lie, when you liked to smile, when you used your teeth for more than chewing. Remember when you were always on, then you wanted to dim the lights a little. Attention felt like attainable high expectations. Then you reverted back to wallflower. You were on vacation when you were present and no one knew but you. Silence was a place of comfort. Then you crossed a threshold when people started ending sentences and conversations with you with question marks that would not have had question marks in writing. Then you stopped going barefoot around family due to the myriad broken eggshells they left on the ground because it became mandatory to walk on eggshells around you. You felt hobbled by the unwritten rule that everyone else was allowed to stand up for themselves, but you must sit in the corner like Dennis the Menace as punishment for breathing. But when you breathed, you existed. Sometimes the act of existence is a form of standing up for yourself, even if you are not aware. Unwritten rules are unwritten and thusly incapable of being set in stone. The only things that are truly set in stone is that every human is composed of blood, skin, and bones, and every single person decides how to use their teeth. Thank you very much, everyone.
Ooh. Let's go, Generalissimo Brian.
Oh, wow, my God. Yay, Brian. Wonderful reading.
Everything I think is all in my mind. Like I said, these poets, they are all so different and so special and so unique, and you will not be bored with any of their books. And I'm super honored and humbled to be able to be on this journey with them, to be publishing their books. I mean, Ashley's video this morning brought me to tears just watching her open her book and how excited she was. So to get to know these poets and their journey is, it makes me happy. It gives me a reason to get out of bed every day and work harder and longer than anyone else, because there are so many people who deserve to be launching their books too. So thank you all so much. You can find Brian, I'm sure, Generalissimo Brian Franco on social medias. GNRSLO SMO is his Instagram. But it's also on the event page. Generalissimo has Cafe Generalissimo the first and third Monday in the afternoon. Well, it's not really, it's afternoon. It's kind of the happy hour time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can go to Cafe Generalissimo and throw some poetry down as a prequel to the Norican Poets Cafe. All right. So next up, we've got Gigi. Where's your Gigi? Let me pull it out. Just pull it out. All right. I am so excited, to have met Gigi, and she'll tell you her story, but she is an example of someone who's new to poetry, who's now a published author. And that's gotta be damn exciting. If you have ever grieved the loss of a loved one, this book is for you. You absolutely need to pick up a copy. Her book is titled Morning Flowers. It is a touching, emotional, and intelligent book. And it will take your breath away. All right, so I will go ahead and read what Emily Cordes herself reviewed her friend with. Emily Cordes writes, I am stitching together new words accompanied with my name. Gigi Melinda Jody Marie Arcadia proclaims in her poetry debut, Morning Flowers. True to this affirmation, the book intricately weaves together grief, memory, body image, queerness, romance, faith, and self-identity, often holding these multitudes side by side. Combined, they form a fierce and tender tapestry, a portrait of a young woman scarred by her past, but daring to love life and herself in spite of it. Please welcome up to the stage, Miss Gigi Arcadia! Woo! Gigi!
Hi.
Cheers. Congratulations, poet.
Thank you. It's so exciting. I just got the books the other day, and I've been filling out them, and I'm just all right, let's ship these suckers out. So I am Gigi. I know I have a really long name. It's a mouthful. Gigi, short for Jody. And yeah, I'm from Massachusetts. I started writing poetry in 2020. We have one single dive bar in my city that does a slam every Monday. And so I was just you know what, this would be a good New Year's resolution. Let's start art that I'm not really comfortable with, because I used to do a lot of mural paintings and stuff. And then I started to write, and I was going there every Monday, ironically enough. I don't know why poetry is Monday day, but it is. And then the pandemic hit, and within a 2-week time span of the pandemic hitting, my dad, it was a pandemic, there was finals in school, and then my dad had gotten sick, and we initially thought it was COVID, and it was actually a glioblastoma, which is a brain tumor, and it was the size of a baseball. And we hadn't even known. He had just had a funny headache one day, and then he just wasn't talking right. And I was like, hey, is your hearing okay? I'm trying to talk to you and you're not hearing me. And then 3 months after his diagnosis, he passed away on August 2nd. And because of COVID, my sister wasn't able to come near him. And my mom was also a COVID nurse. And so I was one of the only people that could be around him and do most of his palliative care as he died. And so it's called Morning Flowers because there is a point when, if you live in the house with someone who has chemo, you can't have anything any fresh flowers in your house because it could possibly get infection. And so that then, when someone dies, then suddenly you go from having so many bouquets in your house. And the cover art is done by my best friend, Cecilia. They are a therapist in Massachusetts. They, them pronouns, if you're referring to them. And they actually came over to my house and took this wonderful photo. This vase is almost 100 years old. This was my great grandmother's vase. And it was given to my grandmother as a wedding present. And so I was just what more of a beautiful tribute. And then there's an actual photo of my dad right there. He was a handsome fella. And yeah, and so I really hope that when people read it, there's rawness and grief that we don't talk about. And there's always everyone assumes that there's a certain weight point, or that it gets easier in time, but it just gets different. And so I talk about a lot of the rawness of grief and what grief looks like, and how that it's okay if you're a goddamn mess. And that there's, you know, and that's kind of where it was. And I'm very lucky that the pandemic had synced up with the ending of my own personal world, because I don't know where I would have been without the New Year weekend, without the poetry community and the friends that I have, because we were in quarantine and I wasn't allowed to go out at all. And so I'm so grateful that when my world was collapsing, the whole other fucking world was collapsing too. Like, what a coinkydink. And then twice this year I've been published, and I'm so incredibly grateful. First was through Miro's anthology of Love Letters to Gaia, which is a great book. And honestly, if I hadn't been published in that when Marissa asked me, I don't think I would have had the confidence to think that I was worthy enough of publishing my own book. So yeah, I'm gonna read like 3 little poems because I had a feature last night. And I am goddamn exhausted. I can't make the audience cry again, guys. So I have 3 short poems, and then I'm gonna post the link in the you guys can buy my book off of my website, which is arcadian-poetry.com. Yeah, and I'm just so excited for people to read this. I will say, don't read it in one sitting. You will cry. But it's definitely like, I dedicated it obviously to my dad because he was my best friend. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to read, since it's Sunday, I'm going to read one from my chapter called Faith. And I think these are some of my favorite ones. This one's called Silent Churches. Churches grew silent after you died. I felt I could hear a pin drop. Online sermons and outdoor congregations brought preachers with words I couldn't hear. Sermons sounded muffled, no breaking of the bread, no faces that seemed friendly enough to break bread with. Churches fell silent to me. I could not hear God in the Psalms nor in the homily. Mouthing prayers, my voice made no sound. After you died, I felt God leave my church. I could not tell if he had left because he could or because he was asking me to follow him. Wherever he is leading me, I hope I hear his voice soon. I'm sitting in a church surrounded by congregants, but I hear no sound. And then, let's see. Okay. Got so many. I read so much last night, and then I realized I had gone so long in my feature. All right, so this one's called Hands on Top of Graves. There are moments I sit beside you and I put my hands to the blades of grass. I take in the air and I wish could fill your lungs. And I hold my breath for a moment and I feel what it's like to be you, motionless and breathless. For a moment, there isn't a cloud in the sky. I hope you see it from the other side. There are moments I run my hands on top of blades of grass, on top of your grave, and I hold my breath, wishing you could hold yours. And then I have just one more, and then I will. So excited to hear all of you guys' poetry. Let's see. Trying to not do a tearjerker. Alrighty. All right, this one's called Breathing. Don't stop breathing. I feel the air filling your lungs, and I think about your heart. I think about it pushing. Don't stop breathing. I think about the severity of the cancer. I hold my breath, wishing it away. I hold my breath, hoping if I take one less, you'll take one more, a universal exchange. I think about your heels in the earth, the roughness of your voice. I think about memories that play on repeat in my mind. Don't stop breathing. I think about memories we won't ever have the empty chair at a wedding not yet planned. I think about the dance floor where no one could take your place in a fatherless father-daughter dance. I think about the aisle that you won't walk me down, arms linked. And sometimes I close my eyes and inhale deep, and I think, and I still inhale deep, and I feel like I can hear you still breathing. Thank you much. Thank you so much, everyone. Buy my book. Buy everyone's book.
Oh my
Get a
God.
book for the holidays.
And don't just buy one copy, please. Buy
Buy them all.
multiple copies and give a book away. I mean, for crying out loud, Melissa May Dunn says poetry without distribution is bullshit. She's absolutely right. If you know anyone who's going through grief or going through a hard time, or you know anyone who needs to laugh, or you need anyone who is an advocate for mental health, or anyone who's a hopeless romantic, or anyone who's going through a breakup, get their books. Like, it is, everybody is so special and unique in this launch, y'all. Melinda, Jody, Gigi, Arcadia. I forgot Marie. All right. Melinda, Gigi, Jody, Marie, Arcadia. I will get all 5 of the names eventually, Gigi, I promise.
You can just say
her
Gigi.
book.
It's okay. I get it's a lot.
Her incredible book, Morning Flowers, as a touching tribute to her father. So please, please, please support these poets. Unmute your mics. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Woo, Gigi! Yes! Woo, 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 woo.
Yes. And your feature was stunning last night. People are still talking about it today, just so you know. All right. Another poet who is absolutely stunning looking today is our next poet, Rosalind Diaz. The cover art is totally Roz, right? It is beautiful and eye-catching and stunning and just an absolutely beautiful cover. They did a very good job on your cover, Roz. Lady Lotus is her book, and I'm honored and humbled to be publishing this book. So here we go. This is the review from Ray Jane on Roz's book. From the introduction to the last page, there is healing in this work. Rosalind's survival is palpable, and her demand for others to have the same opportunity is inspiring. Her poems invoke a desire to break free from confines, both self-inflicted and otherwise. The imagery is electric, and I could feel myself walking in her neighborhood, dancing with her folk and enjoying warm love from her weather. My comfort zone is facing destruction. Yes, she is powerful, an untamed creature. She gives us power in these pages, and I feel invigorated while reading her work. I especially enjoy how she likened herself to a natural disaster, but by the end of the book, she revealed herself as a natural wonder. 2 worlds that often came to mind were tender and fierce, or rather, reckoning with the fact that both extremes can reside in the same body. That is a review of Rosalind's book by Ray Jane. Please unmute your mics, bring it up. Oh, wait, before we bring up Roz, it's her damn birthday. Can we unmute and sing her happy birthday? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Feliz
Happy
cumpleaños,
birthday,
Feliz
birthday to you.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, now unmute your mics and go crazy as we welcome up our next. And then Shane, I'm coming to you after Roz, because Roz has got to get out of here. So Shane, you're coming next.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. This could not have been more divinely, I guess, structured by the universe. I am happy as ever to actually be partaking in this on my actual birthday. It's like a birthday gift. So, as you all know, this is Lady Lotus, and this is a culmination of all things, pain, glory, everything. what can I say? My cover was inspired. I try to make her in my image. And I don't know if you guys know, but you know, the lotus flower grows in the mud. And so I felt it, I guess, fitting that my story be represented by the lotus flower. And it's definitely one of my favorites. So that's the story behind my cover and why I selected the flower. So I'm gonna read two pieces. The first one is Mandated Reporter, and it goes like this. Dodging taboo since I exited the womb, see, it took a while for the storm to brew within me, and finally, when it hit, it was too late. Anyone I loved was drowning in a sea of fuck you, what about me? No one saw it coming. But then again, most natural disasters give little to no warning, drenched in my own mess. I make it to an office where the first thing I'm asked is if I ever felt like harming me. I reply, death is the only thing that is guaranteed, and I had no wishes to expedite the end of my journey. Asked her if she knew who I was. Told her I teach women not to give up. Knew she wasn't an ophthalmologist, asked her to stare into my eyes to find where the promises. Told her I am everything but typical, proudly and original. Said I wouldn't make it easy to glide that red pen across the page. She didn't get to write me off that day. Asked how dare she label me. Said I'm no danger to myself, much less society. Said all I aim to do is strive. Confessed I've loved a few men back to life after they've signed emotional DNRs. Told her I've placed my healing hands over the nastiest scars and prevailed. I revealed I was a miracle child. I survived dynamics that no one ever thought I would. Kept pushing like the little engine that knew she could. Genetically, body fights for immunity, organs, authors of countless suicide notes, alive because of undying hope to break cycles, to treat life as the best piece I've ever composed. Oh, Doc, it's not over till the divine says, end poem. Asked, aren't you proud to be a mandated reporter? That's the first piece. And my next piece, is called Waiting Room Etiquette. And I like to think of this as my ode to my Nuyorican Poets Cafe family and everybody who I've encountered through these virtual means, all the creatives that have taken part in my journey. It goes like this. Occasionally, life decides to throw a curveball at me, calls it playful trickery. I think to myself, I have no more fight left in me. Quickly, I dismiss my telenovela protagonist tendencies. I close my eyes, start the rewiring, start counting my blessings. I remember to start small out of awareness, sometimes to have a longer list. I begin to name my 4-leaf clovers with unclenched fists. I open my eyes today. I am breathing. I can formulate a thought. I look at a journal and a pen and my heart still skips a beat. I can look out of my window and appreciate the scenery. While sipping my coffee out of my favorite mug, good morning texts filled with love. Loved ones are well, my dog's tail still wags relentlessly at the sight of me. I have keys to my home, Those aren't the only set that I own. I am endless possibilities. I have the keys to my own destiny. Gratitude, not just a feeling, but an attitude. For all things, the good, the bad, the ugly, if only I could mimic the sea deep, both wild and serene, always full of mystery, comfortable despite the uncertainty. I am grateful for my wisdom, my poetry, for the sweetest words from the most beautiful strangers across the world. I am grateful for showers hot enough to warn the devil not to mess with me, for the feeling of letting down my hair after the scrunchie was on too tight, for making it through the night. I am grateful for my friends, for my almost perfect credit score, for chocolate, for orgasms, for wine. I am grateful for the sun and how bright it shines, for my ability to turn anger into strategy and a no into a yes, for the gift to recognize tragedy as a test. I am grateful for the tranquility when in my own company. I am grateful for itineraries as reminders of the places I'm gonna see, for the good memories that visit unexpectedly, which make me laugh out loud randomly. I am grateful for life's GPS, constantly rerouting, reminding that sometimes new beginnings are masked as painful endings, for my spiritual guides pretending not to know that I'm ascending in preparation for a meet and greet with my biggest fan, the realest one on my team, my higher self. Till we meet, I'll wait with great anticipation while strengthening my powers of manifestation. From January to December, I promise to remember to stay grateful. End poem.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank you.
Rosalind Diaz, everyone.
That was great, Roz. Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I love you all so much. I'm so
This
grateful.
is her book, Lady Lotus. It's available from the poet through her big brown eyes, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere on social media. You'll find this poet and her work. Roz, you have a website too, right?
Yes, I do.
What's your website so folks know how to find you? Through her
Through
big brown
her big-
eyes.com.
Through her bigbrowneyes.com. Yep. Same as the Instagram. Everything.
Yes.
Through her big brown eyes.
Everything through her big brown eyes. You guys go follow this poet, go get her book, like straight up. Fucking hell, let's go. Dreams are coming true, and I'm so honored and humbled that there's so many fierce women in this launch. I mean, guys, I love you too, but we're a female forward press. When I built this publishing house, I wanted it to be a safe space for people to come and have their work fairly and adequately reviewed, and I wanted women to be able to come together and push each other up in a place that wasn't competitive or dramatic and really safe. They weren't going to be scammed or lured into a hotel room or groped or hit on or not feel safe, and I'm absolutely stunned that I get to wake up and these poets said yes to this journey and they're here. So happy birthday, Roz. Congratulations on your book. Her signed
for
copy
being part of my journey.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Roz, do you have anything coming up? Any sort of features or events or anything like that?
Nothing, just if you want my book, if you like what you heard, hit me up and I'll get one to you.
Yes. Roz is also in our Touching Tongues, the women's erotic anthology that is out. There's 31 women in this book, and Rosalind Diaz is one of them. So yes, we're so excited. I will be in New York City for the New York City Poetry Festival. We'll see what we can do about getting an hour on the stage for you poets to feature. There are 6 New York poets. 5 of them are from the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. So I'm really, really hoping. But if you think about the 13 that we're going to launch in the spring, some of them are New York poets as well. So I'm hoping we can just keep going with this. Let's let's go. If you know a poet who's never published a book, have them reach out to me, message me. Oh snap, Wordsmith Billy's coming in the room. I'll add him to the list. And yeah, I'm excited where we're going. You poets are paving the way for the next launch. And I have opportunities coming up with Red or Green Books for you to help continue to pay it forward and inspire the next wave of books. Matthew Matakin is in the chat. What is up, Matthew? Yes, Matthew Matakin is part of the original 10 that we launched here at Red or Green Books. He might be in the cornfields of Iowa, but he is everywhere online. Philip Boykin in the room. Wordsmith Billy, what is up, poet? Did you win your bout last night?
He pulled out.
I had to pull out too. You're a lot taller than I thought. Like I saw you on that scale on that weigh-in, and I was like, he's a big dude. I wouldn't want to fight him. You see his arms? His arms are like grappler arms. Like I bet your wingspan is taller than your height. I bet
it is.
Yeah, I'm like, he's got legs for days, and that's not what you want when you're in MMA and someone's grappling you, and they're gonna just so I'm sorry that he pulled out, because that would have been a nice win for your record. But yeah, I would have pulled out too.
Long arms.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize you were just all arms and legs. I was like, that is exactly why he's in MMA. And there was a question earlier today that was saying, how can a poet also be an MMA fighter? So maybe when it's your turn to read, you can address that.
I got you.
All right. We're gonna keep going. I am so excited to bring up Shane Maynor. She is our cover artist. She is our in-house, my other half, really. Here, hang on. My daughter's pulling the cord and I'm like, okay, hang on. There you go, baby girl. She did the cover work for 5 of the poets this launch, as well as for the Touching Tongues erotica. Plus, she did the cover art for my book. So I absolutely love her. I greatly esteem her. She is not just a colleague, she's a peer and a friend. And I'm so honored and humbled that she said yes to being part of Red or Green Books and being part of helping all of you see your dreams come true as well. I'm going to give her as much time as she wants to talk about her work, Guerrilla Poets, her process. If you have questions you want to ask her, now is a good time. It can be anything from artwork to poetry to coaching to spoken word. The woman does it all. Please unmute your mics. Give a warm welcome to our very own Shane.
Shane is amazing. Shane is amazing.
What is up, y'all? This has made my heart so full, seriously. I am still reeling over Ashley's book opening earlier. It was the best video ever. I laughed, I cried. It was all of the emotions. It was great. Y'all, this is incredible. I am always honored to be a part, even if I did not do your book cover, just to hear you and know that you're getting your work out in the world is huge, y'all. Seriously. If you ever wonder if I'm rooting for you, I totally am. Okay. So don't ever second question that. This is huge. What Marissa is doing is huge. What y'all are doing is huge. Everybody's got a story and everybody's story matters. Y'all are seriously going to transform some lives by putting your work out into the world. It's no small feat whatsoever. So I am super honored to have done some of y'all's book covers. And I'm also excited to let y'all know that if I did your book cover, you will receive the original artwork. So you can shadow box it, you can frame it on your wall. Some of y'all don't know this, but there's been a few people that actually have wanted to buy y'all's art, like the artwork. And I'm like, nay, you cannot have it. It is the poet's artwork. So that also made me feel good though, because I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So like, people actually want the original artwork too. So when I do get famous and I'm making six figures, feel free to resell this artwork when you get it and, make more money from it. So it's not going to hurt my feelings. But yeah, I'm excited that I get to ship y'all the artwork. So I will be in touch about that. I need your addresses. Please don't put them in the chat because, just safety measures. I'll email you or I'll message you on Facebook and you can just send me your address. The process is fairly simple. I'm just using y'all's genius and y'all's, amazing imagery and working with you to tweak it and get it right. Sometimes it comes out right out the gate, and other times, we gotta adjust it a little bit. There's always adjusting though in the process when it goes to press. So regardless of whether or not the artwork comes out amazing, there's always tweaks for the press. I also have printing background. I also worked in printing for a very long time. I have a degree in graphic design. I'm also a creative coach. I'm also a spoken word performer. I am ranked 14th in the nation. So I have hit stages with some big ones out there. So I'm getting back into slam a little bit, but the majority of where I make my income is through doing poems for museums and organizations like that. And just being hired to do awesome work. If you're wondering if you could do this full time for a living, yes, you can. Yes, you can. This is my 4th year. And I will never go back to a 9-to-5 now that I know what's possible. And the first month I made double what I made as a full-time graphic designer. I was like, oh yes, we're not going back to this bullshit. So yes, you can do it. All right. And there's multiple ways to do it. Your journey doesn't have to look like mine. It could look like maybe you do the college circuit. There's a whole college circuit out there called NACA, and there's ways to get into it, and you get paid per college. You get paid very well. Asia Sampson is on the college circuit. He grossed, I think, $1 million doing the college circuit. So it's very possible. But that's what I do. I help creatives make a living doing what they love. I also help them see their idea through to completion. So for example, if you have a book launch and you want it to incorporate dancers, maybe you want to get grant funds so it pays for everything. Maybe you want to move into one-woman shows and plays and actually, get hired by the city to do, what you love to do. I can help you make that happen through strategic planning and knowing what to research, because sometimes, you can say, yeah, I can get a grant for that, but if you don't know where to look, then how are you going to get it, right? So please don't be afraid to reach out to me if you ever have any questions about marketing. I'm big into marketing, got a background in that as well. And yeah, you can make it happen. I'm honored. I want to share a poem with y'all too, because I do run a nonprofit called Guerrilla Poets. And this poem reminds me that this is why it matters. This is why what we do matters, y'all, because it literally can save lives. I started Guerrilla Poets because I was sharing a poem on a mic, and an elderly man came up to me and told me that he was going to go home and take his life that evening, but he heard that poem and he decided he wasn't going to. And that's when I realized, wow, not only can it save my life through writing and sharing my story, but through sharing my story, it could also save others and empower them. I feel like spoken word is that. You're watching somebody leap over this monumental thing within 3 minutes and 10 seconds, if you're in a slam, right? And come out the other end of it. I mean, if that isn't bravery and courage, God, I don't know what is, y'all. It's incredible. I believe that poets remind society what it is to be a human, and unfortunately we need that. It's very important. I don't know if we'll ever stop needing that. But that's a whole other philosophy. Okay. Anyway, one more business advice before I get into this poem and get these other poets up here. Y'all need to be writing everything off on your taxes. If you paid Marissa, if you paid me, you need to be writing that shit off on your taxes. every mile that you spend driving from open mic to open mic, I don't care if they paid you or not, write the mileage down, write that shit off on your taxes, because when you do start your LLC and, you know, go into entrepreneurship, they're going to tax the hell out of you. You write everything off, every notebook, piece of paper, every time you go to eat with another poet, just make sure you talk about poetry at the table. Stop taking vacations, take business trips. Be like, I'm gonna go to New Orleans because I think I might do a writing retreat there. Write that shit off. Okay. All right, enough of that. Here we go. This is for Derek. I am staring out at cars. At the exact spot he lifted his sneakers off the solidity of the ground for the last time. And there is a black hole howling in my chest that spins with the rage of all things that are swept away in the current. They said all that was left of him was a tuft of red hair. My neighbor saw the odd parts all mushed across the road. She said she thought someone must have hit a deer. She had no idea. It was a boy of only 14 years old. His name was Derek John Thomason. I went to his high school when I was young, and he jumped right near my house. Newspapers read he was bullied to death. I am staring out at cars, and I'm tired of waiting for someone to stop. And there is a battle cry signaling war, roaring across everyone's windshield that sonics outward from the fist that pumps my God in me. When I was in school, I thought if I could make a big boom, I could make an impact, change minds. But we forget the span of 14 years. You young crew weren't there in the generation of Columbine. You didn't see the survivors, didn't get to sympathize with, yes, the shooters, didn't deal with a bomb threat every day for a year like we did. No one pushed the edges. There was a unity that happened in our school, but how easily martyrs fade from our books tarnish our golden rule. Parents, do you know how close your children are to the hand of death? How they cling to his robe with an arm around his leg? My own mother still doesn't know I came home every day and held a loaded gun to my head. She didn't see how blue my face had been when I was cut down from a bathroom door by my friend, swinging from a belt I had hung myself with. Already stopped breathing, already convulsing, my own leap sneakers involuntarily banging the door. It was the only thing that alerted the next room that something was wrong. And here I am, staring out at cars, wondering where all the other poets are, whose words ever held another's cries. I stopped caring so much about publications and credits ever since I was told my poetry stopped an elderly man from suicide. I am staring out at cars, and I am biting the words off and spitting them down the side of the Lane Street Bridge on 85 for my God in me to read back to myself. Now, when I think, what is the point of this? I think of Derek and have no problem with going at it alone, because by my God, if I would have known, I would have used this gift of words and I would have stopped. I would have risked my job that day to save that boy's life. When communication has been such a breeze for me, maybe it could have lifted him when he left and he could fly. I'm staring out over I-85, wondering why every bleeding heart is acting like a hypocrite when the God in my chest is burning all the bushels we used to hide the light with, when my heart is suffocating under the swift wind his sneakers left, while I am the only one here, when now is not the time for silence, nor to be an advocate to stillness, when my generation is getting high in back rooms on couches instead of out here with me uniting, why we would rather keep our heads down than out there fighting for those who are weaker and those whose feet are in the same sneakers. Thanks, y'all. Poets matter. Poets matter. You matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Don't take
man.
us. Thank you. That was amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh, my
Also,
God.
no shade to Daniel, who is actually on the couch in the back of the, but he's not high, y'all. And he's
He's chilling. Yeah, he's chilling. He's chilling.
Daniel, we love you for taking good care of her. Thank you so much for doing that. Shane, I have a lot of roses to give you, but Tori is on a time crunch. So what I'm going to do is bring her up real quick, and then we're going to pop back to Shane. So Shane, don't go anywhere, because I'm not done talking about Shane Maynard yet. All right, so the next book we're going to bring up real quick is Tori Letts. I love this poet. She's absolutely sensational. I didn't even realize she and Nick Paleologos were friends until he told me, and I'm like, well, that's just fortuitous. Schoolyard Crushes and Prozac Prescriptions is the title of her book. She's a stunning human being. Her work is impeccable. It is up there. It's thought-provoking. It's amazing. It's raw and real. Tori, please feel free to unmute yourself. Talk about your story, your journey. If you have a poem from here that you would like to read, if not, I will absolutely pick a poem for you. But yeah, floor is yours, my beautiful friend. Unmute your mics. Cheer on Miss Tori. Let's everybody. Woo! Congratulations.
So popping in here I'm popping in here from the Miami Book Fair where I'm currently working. I'm on like a 10-15 minute break, so I'm gonna just talk with you as quickly as I can, but hopefully it's not too loud. So I have my first book coming out, as Marissa mentioned, Schoolyard Crushes and Prozac Prescriptions. Essentially the book is about a lot of like firsts in life. So first loves, first losses, first heartbreaks, first navigation through mental health, things like that. And it kind of oscillates between things about like love and mental health, hence the title being Schoolyard Crushes and Prozac Prescriptions. Some of the poems in there I've been working on, or I've been sitting on for like several years. Some of them I wrote specifically for this book in the past few months. But all in all, this has definitely been a labor of love kind of a project. It's taken a while to put together. I've been writing poetry for about 10 years now, but the poetry that I wrote 10 years ago, that's kind of a generous word for it probably. It was high school. But then I got to college and I joined this incredible organization called Poetic Lyricism, and it did a lot of spoken word events. We had some events that brought in about 1,000 people. We did all sorts of things, and we did like 1 to 2 events a month, and then we had workshops all the time, and that just turned me kind of into the poet that I am today. And yeah, now I'm trying to like actually get my poetry more into the world. I've been doing a lot of journalism and nonfiction that's been published, but this is the first time I've had my poetry really published, so I'm really excited, and I really can't wait to share it with you guys, and I really hope that you can get a copy of it. I can read you like 1 or 2 poems, and then I really have to get back to work. But you can follow me at Tori Let's Poetry on Instagram, and there's a link tree on there as well where you can figure out where to order my book if you want it. The first like batch, all the pre-orders I am signing as a courtesy, so go ahead and get that while you can. And I am going to go ahead and read a couple poems for you just to give you kind of the idea of what is in this book. So this one, I'm very sorry to people who've heard it before because it's probably one of my favorites and I always love reading it, but it's called Suffocating, and it's more on the mental health end of what's in the book. Suffocating. Breathe in, breathe out. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? 1 meaning 1 foot in the grave and the other barely grabbing the edge. 10 meaning tenacious, vivacious, and every other acious that can describe how elated you are. Maybe you're feeling a 5 if you're doing just fine. There is no right answer. Of course, unless you consider anything below a 4 the right answer. 4 because we care for you and can't let anything bad happen. So let's lock that shit down before it becomes a problem, because we can't have your brain shutting down on us now. But answer honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? No pressure, but you aren't the only one with problems, and we need to know how serious this is before we can move on. Move on. Can you at least say a 6? What? Sick of this? No, at least a 6. I'll just jot down 7 if it's all the same to you then. You look chipper enough today. Keep that head up. We all know what happened when you last reached a 2. A 2 as in 2 fucking bad. You have shit to do. I think we should aim for an 8 by tomorrow. If you 8 before tomorrow, we could even put a 9, but I'm not sure you're there yet, and it's asinine to shoot too high. So how about that 7 again? Sorry, 3? That won't do, you see. That has to be documented, prioritized, considered a problem. Other people have real problems. Can't you see? We don't have time for a crisis. If you're gonna fuck up, at least do it right. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, and then this one is called Love in Cursive, and then gotta go. Love in Cursive. They say, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. But I think my problem is bringing love letters to a knife fight, and the knives always end up deep in my back before I can even get past the first few lines, choking and gargling a perverted variation of what those pages are supposed to be. Crumpled up and torn now in the pockets of my jeans, I wonder what a full letter would sound like out loud. Would it sound like the stained glass cage shattering around my heart into a million little pieces, grinding into a fine kaleidoscope of dust? Maybe that's just me romanticizing another missed opportunity. So I hope that you liked those, and I also hope that thy sound was still on, because I was
Yes.
Oh,
You guys
Jesus.
unmute your mics, please.
No,
Give it up for
that was
Tori.
amazing.
Woo!
Thank you, and I will be here for the
Is
signing
there
that
any
we're
way
doing
I can
in
buy that
December.
book?
But what?
Is there any way I can buy that book?
Yes,
That was
I'm
really
going to
good.
go over this real quick because Tori's got to go back to work. I'll read you her quick bio and the reviews for her book real quick and
Yeah,
tell you where her
definitely.
social medias and stuff are.
Thank you so
Tori
much.
Lutz, everyone. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Tori.
Yeah,
All
follow
right.
me on Instagram. My
Yeah,
link
you
tree is
killed
there.
that.
You can buy that book from there. Bye.
Awesome.
All right.
So her book is titled Schoolyard Crushes and Prozac Prescriptions. I'm going to read you her bio real quick and her one of the reviews. I didn't want to take time away from her doing this, so I just kind of wanted her to come up and you could at least hear her, meet her. But this is her quick bio on the back of her book. Tori is a poet from Miami, Florida. She has been avidly writing poetry for most of her life, particularly developing a serious passion at Florida State University. Here she found devotion to the FSU Literary Department, the Poetic Lyricism Organization, and the FS View and Florida Lambeau News paper. This is her first released collection of poetry. And Jonathan Riley, who's the poetry editor for Barnstorm Literary Journal, writes, emotionally relevant and timely, it tears you down, throws you to rock bottom, and then points out the flowers trying to push through the soil where you landed. It's a sensational, but you can find her, Tori Lutz, Lutz, on Facebook and I believe Instagram as well. You can find her Instagram, Tori Lutz Poetry. She does have a YouTube channel. Twitter, she's Tori Lutz Poetry, and Facebook, Tori Lutz, Lutz. You can definitely do that. Also, you can go to the website, redorgreenbooks.com, read, R-E-A-D. Redorgreenbooks.com has all of the poets, their short bios, all their social media handles, everywhere that you can to get connected with them. All right. Real quick, we're going to go back to Shane because I really want to give her roses, but Tori was, I try to be as flexible as I can because I don't want you to miss out on Tori Lutz. So y'all, Shane Maynard has absolutely changed the way that I look at poetry and is a huge part of the belief system in my heart and in my soul about being able to do what I do. I'm not sure I could have done this without her agreeing to be part of Red or Green Books and helping. I am absolutely certain that her being on this journey with these poets and these books and this artwork has propelled us forward. And I know that we are laying the foundation to build something truly incredible, really game-changing. She did the cover art for the Women's Erotic Anthology, and she did the cover art for my book. This is my book, Conversations with Grief. It's the year that I wrote poetry after my best friend made the decision to end her life. And this is a picture that Shane painted of my friend Crystal. And it's an incredible memorandum for her. And it changed the way I believe we could do this. It was something that I just kind of did once, and then this book changed everything. And it allowed me to believe that if my dream of this book coming true happened, then I can make that happen for so many more people. And Ashley's video this morning was just such a confirmation in what we're doing, right? That we are pushing forward, we're changing how books are published, how poetry is distributed, how it's written. We're removing the elitistness of it. We're making it accessible and affordable for everyone, because everyone's story is important. It doesn't matter if you have a degree. It doesn't matter if you know someone who knows someone, you have connections. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million fucking Instagram followers. The poets here are top notch, some of the best in the world. And I'm just so honored and humbled and grateful that you all are here, and that Shane is a big integral part of that. If you ever get a chance to become part of Guerrilla Poets, please do that. They offer free workshops, not just poetry workshops, but art workshops, writing workshops, painting workshops. I mean, what they do is so monumentally and epically important for not just at-risk youth, but also people who don't have access to art supplies. They don't have access to education, learning how to paint, how to draw, how to write. It's absolutely sensational what they are doing. Go support their organization. And then on the professional business side of things, God damn, if she can make a living for the last 4 years, not having to work for the man, not having someone's thumb, are you tired of someone's thumb on you? Then go and do it. But she's been through it, right? She knows the ups and downs and what to avoid in the pitfalls and how to be successful. And we're not talking successful as having 1 million Instagram followers. We're talking successful as you're able to pay your bills. You're able to put food on the table. You're able to help somebody else, right? That's my definition of success. So if listen to her on the business front too. I'll tell you that at Red or Green Books, we have a couple of things happening that are just monumentally game-changing. Next year, there is a 5 of us women that are going to be releasing a series of children's books. It's going to change the game, where we talk about ethnicity and race and inequality within children's literature. It's never been done, what we're doing next year. Shane is a part of that. So please, 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 like, get on board. If you need we're also starting a mentorship program at Red or Green Books. The mentorship program, I'm hoping Shane will be a part of that, because shit, I want to get mentored by her. She does mentor me, right? And she pours belief into you and flexes your belief muscles. And so the next 10 poets, I'll be reaching out to you as we pilot this program to mentor other poets. So keep that in mind. Just please know that what you're doing it's going to change everything in the best way. And I don't know. I think really big, and I think really far down the road. Sometimes people are in the here and now, but for me, I'm looking at like 10 years down the road where we're going to be, and the work we're doing right now this year is going to change everything. It's a paper revolution. All right. So thank you, Shane Mayer, so much. Guerrilla Poets, GUERILLA. Go to their workshops. I have written some of the most incredible poetry in her workshops, because the caliber of the poets. That's where I met Pam Rice, right? One of the next 10 poets. Pam Rice will knock your fucking socks off too. All right. So don't forget, the book signing for these next 10 poets will be Sunday, December 12th, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And our Women's Erotic Anthology release party is Saturday, December 4th. So come, get your butts here, 31 women in a room, reading sex. Like, you can't, it doesn't get better than that. And at Word is Right, which I co-host with Ma Dukes, we have our Grand Slam, which is Saturday, December 4th. The best of the best slam artists are going to be there. That is a free event, but if you're slamming, you have to already have qualified. And then our anniversary party for the Word is Right will be in December. That is a ticketed event. We're charging only $5 on Eventbrite, so it's only $5, right? And we only get $3.10 of that. But that's the way we fund the Zoom room for the next year. We don't charge for our events or our workshops. We want to keep doing that. So if you want to keep supporting what we're doing on the peripheral, thank you so much for supporting Red or Green Books. Thank you for supporting The Word is Right. Thank you for supporting Guerrilla Poets. All right. we're going to keep rocking and rolling. I got Miro, Pam, Emily, and Ashley and Philip. Miro and Emily Cordes will be double featuring at The Word Is Right next Saturday night. It's exciting. Oh my God, these two women, I mean, even before they came to be part of Red or Green Books, they were always destined to be paired together. I had them paired up, 6 months ago, way before I knew I was going to publish their books. Anyway, so this is Miro's book. It's titled Ebb and Flow. It's a stunning cover, and it really mimics exactly what is in her book. She has this way of carrying you through the stories as if you're walking with her on the streets of New York City, as if you're on the subway, not subway, the air, the sidewalk, the gum, the people, everything that happens in her book is absolutely sensational. And I feel like these poets I didn't know before they came here, I get to know them through their work. And please, like I said, buy their books, buy them directly from the poets, unless you're buying the whole collection. Unmute your mics, please. Let's give a huge, oh wait, hang on. I got to read her review. Hang on, Miro. I'm getting so excited introducing you. All right, so Gina Antonia Nepa writes, Miro invites us into a world in which she says the things we've all thought but didn't know we were allowed to put out into the universe. This book is the perfect encapsulation of the duality of wanting to be alone while also wanting to be adored in relationship. She feeds an entire generation words we've been craving to make sense of our identities. This book is one you'll tear through in a single sitting alongside Miro, drinking green tea, listening to glass animals in the quiet of the night. Please unmute your mics, give a big round of applause to Miro. Woo! Congratulations, poet.
Yeah. Well, golly, thank you. Thanks so much. So I thought I would maybe talk a little bit about my history as a writer and then read you a couple of pieces. So I think I've been a writer like forever, but I've only recently come to terms with that. Like it started in elementary school when I created my own comic strip, Janie and Sheila, which was a total, not very subtle knockoff of Garfield. I was like obsessed with Garfield at the time. I was writing Harry Potter fan fiction in high school. It was always me and like one of the Weasley twins, and then from there, like I had a couple pieces published here and there, but it was never like little essays, but it was never something that I pursued seriously or did like continuously. So I've only been writing poetry like Gigi for a year. I started last year and I came across this free 5-day poetry course hosted by the poet Jay Suskin, who is amazing. You should check her out on IG. And that was what got me writing consistently. And a few weeks after that course, I found the Nuyorican. So I've been with Nuyo since like last year when I was in West Virginia, and that's how I met Marissa and like pretty much everybody else here. Since then, I've had pieces published in the Blood Moon Journal, Space City Underground, the Sledgehammer Lit Mag. I also published a bunch of you guys in Love Letters to Gaia, and it was an honor to publish Gigi as she mentioned. So thanks for that shout out, girl. And now I have a book, and I don't even know what that means. I still don't know how to feel about it. I have no words. So Marissa, thank you for taking a chance. So my book's called Ebb and Flow. And I'm not usually very good at titling things. So this title was kind of a revelation, and I'm grateful for that. I came to New York for the first time in 2012, left in 2016, vowing never to return, came back this year. So, the come and go. I live on Staten Island. I take the ferry to Manhattan. I take it back. I'm in the subway. I'm seeing a guy and then I'm alone, and then I'm seeing a guy and then I'm alone. So like the ebb and like, that's what the book is about. Like just, the come and go of like this past year in New York. And all of the poems were written this year, not necessarily with the intention to be in this book, but there it is. The cover was designed by my incredibly talented friend, Marie Lumine, who is in France. And she's probably in bed by now, I don't know. But we've been friends for 10 years. And I remember when she first was getting into art and drawing and stuff. So like I've got to watch her artistry evolve. And she was so generous with this and so patient with me. And like this book is gorgeous, like because of her. So, and there's 2 illustrations on the inside. Woo! So look out for those. I'll read you 2 pieces because I don't want to give too much away. The first one is a very short piece that just exists on page 23. There's no title. Spring came in a heartbeat, and today, as I walked in the streets, the sun, dazzling and hot, demanded I take off my blazer before continuing bare-armed toward the suffocating heat of summer. That's the first one. And second one is for Cat Guy. My dating misadventures have been a huge source of inspiration for Cat Guy. I let you fuck me because yes, you persisted, but mostly because I was after a little relief from the anxiety of what it would be like to be naked in that way again. Your thoughtlessness was dazzling and the lack of foreplay was disappointing, but to be fair, you did warn me saying, I just want to fuck you. And you did. So thank you. And now I'll return the favor warning you that this won't go on much longer. In fact, I think it's pretty much over. I didn't care if I heard from you again. Goodbyes in front of your apartment. You hopped on your bike and rode off in the same direction I was walking in. But you hit me with a text the week after saying, I heard your name in a movie last night. To which I took my time to reply, must have been a really good movie. And you responded, it sure was, a little too quickly. I didn't add anything to that, but being a ghost didn't sit right until I realized I was serving the same treatment I received. I was your second thought, and you, mine. Thank you. If you guys want to connect, it is Miro Reads Books on IG. See Miro Write on Twitter. I'm not very good at the whole Twitter thing. I'm trying. I don't know. If you would like a copy of Ebb and Flow, slide into those DMs. Thank you so much, Marissa, and thank you, everybody.
Yes, Miro, everybody. This is her book.
That was dope. That was dope. That was dope.
Congratulations.
Thomas Connor's in the house. Yeah, she's absolutely stunning. But it is awesome. I love it, man. I love it. You will laugh. She just takes you on this journey, and yes, thank you, Miro, for saying yes, for being part of this journey. Man, I just
thanks for inviting me, and thanks for insisting.
Yes, so hopefully she's okay with me telling this story. So she had said I had invited her. I always knew. So when she did Love Letters to Gaia, I thought for sure she was published, right? And then she had said something like, oh, I've never published a book before. And I was like, what? I mean, this is the same for every single poet I've published, all 19, because I'm one of them, but all 19 poets, I was sure that they had published a book before. That is the caliber and the quality of these poets. So when Miro said she was not published, I was like, you need to be published. It has to be like it should have been, but now I get to do it, and I'm so excited to do it. And so I sent her the letter of intent, and she's when you know what someone's going to think or say before they think or say it, and so you're just waiting on them to come back with the I'm not sure I can do this. That's exactly how that happened. She, because the imposter syndrome is real, which is one of the reasons why I am inviting these poets to help mentor the next generation of poets, right? The next gen, because when you make that decision to sign the paper and turn your contract in, and you plan to stick to the timeline, and holy shit, it's going to be real, and oh my god, there's a book here, right? It's real. You wonder, Am I going to be good enough? Is anyone going to buy it? Does anyone want to read what I write? Is my story important? Does it matter? Is it relevant enough? Is it good enough? I don't have a degree. I'm not an author, right? All those things start to click into your head and you wonder, am I really just going to do this and make a fool of myself? It's straight up, that's what happens when the doubt creeps into our mind. Because I felt it. Every one of us, all 20 of us have felt it. And so when she said, I don't know if I'm going to be ready, I'm like, well, you goddamn better get ready, because like Emily Cordes I was like, you can't not be in this Go mural, because you're with your peers, you're with your friends. I mean, can you imagine this launch without her here? I can't. And so I'm really glad that you said yes. And I won't stop fighting for you guys. I won't let you say no because you don't believe in yourself, because I believe in you. I wouldn't bring someone into this launch who I didn't think was ready or good enough to be here, because what's good enough, right? I don't say anyone is good enough or not good enough, but I absolutely knew you had to be in this launch. You had to be with your friends, and we needed you here. So yes, if you have friends who are struggling with that imposter syndrome, just tell them you have to do it. just tell them, just do it. Don't look back and say, I wish I did it, right? I know some people who said no to the first launch, only 2, and man, they're wanting to come publish next year. And just say yes, please, when opportunity comes to knock. It's preparation meeting opportunity is success. All right, the next poet who I'm so honored and humbled to be inviting up here is Pam Rice. Now, do not let Pam's soft voice fool you. She will cut you with her words. She's a beast. I freaking love her, man. Pam, I met Pam through Guerrilla Poets, and she writes poems that bring me to my knees in those workshops. And so when she had said she'd never published a book, she went on my list right away. And when I sent this launch out, she was the first email. So I'm so excited to bring you Pam Rice. Her book is titled The Struggle Within. It's an incredibly real look at mental health, look at being a part of the LGBTQ community. Very relative, real, important issues that we don't talk enough about. If you know people who are struggling, get this book and give it to them. It will help. It's an affirmation for those who are struggling with self-harm and mental health issues. So please unmute your mics, you guys. Oh wait, sorry, Pam. Let me read a review. Sarabella Mental writes, you and your family wouldn't have died and left me behind without a fresh breath. Pam takes all your breath away with her book of poetry, The Struggle Within. You follow her through the inner workings of her mind, as amazed that you're allowed to be within these amazing words that take on all of the little details of a beautiful life, personified through her poetry. That is the review by Sarabella Mental. Please welcome up to the mic, Pam Rice, everybody!
Woo! Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you, everybody. My book, The Struggle Within, is definitely a personal journey through my mental health and healing. Both as a lesbian and as someone diagnosed with bipolar disorder. My writing started in high school, but it's been within the last year with Guerrilla Poets that I've really taken off and kind of committed to my work. And I've been very grateful for them and for the space that Shane and Guerrilla Poets holds. And thank you for Marissa for believing in me. First thing I want to read is actually a review from the first person that bought this book. She shared it with me and agreed to let me share it with y'all. She says, "Hey, I got your book in the mail today. I sat down to read a couple pages and read the whole thing. It's as if you were writing down everything I feel. If someone were to ask me, why do you feel these ways, I'd give them your book to read. Your situation and heartache are different than mine, but you captured the essence of my depression, anxiety, and self-esteem issues all rolled up and put into beautiful words. The book is amazing. You're a beautiful writer. You have bared your soul in the most beautifully written poetry about real life struggles I've ever read." I read that just to say that's the purpose of my book, is to, reach out to others and to let them know they're not alone. I'm going to read a couple of passages from my book. The first one's called Fade to Black. A throbbing, pulsating pain fills my head. The jackhammers begin and I cannot escape their intensity. Red bursts behind my eyes and seeps into the gray matter that is my brain. I try to envision the ocean and all of its serenity, but the blues just mix with pain's reds and slowly turns into a bubbling, boiling purple with red bubbles spitting and splattering inside my skull. I have decisions to make. I must gather information, analyze the data, and reach a logical conclusion, but I can't do it. My heart is tied to the decision, and what my brain knows, my heart fears. My son is 21 now, an adult. He should thrive or survive on his own. How do I let go of the little boy that once held me tight and told me I love you to God and back? My thoughts scatter as the pounding begins anew. I don't want to think. I don't want to feel. I don't want to decide. My purple cauldron fades to black. And the next one I want to read is called Seeds of Hope. A suicide attempt began my journey. As the years go by, I struggle, I fight, and I flee within me. But mental illness is not an easy foe, and strive as I might, there is nowhere left for me to go. The medications I try help to a degree, but when one starts to work, it soon drops me to my knee. So we go from med to med, searching for the right mix, not realizing that in my DNA there is actually no true fix. I do not metabolize medications like everyone else. They work for a while, but then they just fail. I still think about suicide at times when the darkness consumes me, but I'm stronger now and want more than these thoughts included in my story. I will take my meds and participate in therapy, and there will come a day when joy finds me. Until that time, my demons will I fight and strive to overcome with all of my might. I know that there's more than darkness in me. There is love and light and laughter that I'd like my friends and family to see. Thank you, everyone. And if you like what you've heard, please buy my book.
Please get her book, y'all. The Struggle Within by Pam Rice. Y'all unmute your mics, please. Give it a big round.
Yes, yes,
Way
yes.
Pam, way Pam.
Brilliant, brilliant,
Beautiful.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Y'all, she's just sensational. I'm just honored to be able to publish Pam. And I'm super excited that at least half of the poets that we're publishing in the first part of next year are queer poets. So I'm like, yes. And most of them are women. So women or non-binary. So I'm very excited to be in that lane and pushing up those poets. So yes, 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 and yes, Pam Rice, everyone. I told you, she will cut you with her words. Like Advocate says, she'll cut you with compliments, she'll cut you with her words. Pam Rice is sharp. All right, next up we got Emily Cordes, everyone. Was such an incredibly beautiful cover. Shane, you did a sensational job on this cover work. It is just gorgeous. It's as beautiful as the author herself. And I will read you Emily's Emily's review. I couldn't let Miro not be part of this launch with you. It had to be the two of you together, and Nick and Generalissimo, and like y'all had to be here together. It felt like family to me on a personal level. So I'm really glad that you all said yes. All right, Mary Blenderman, who I greatly esteem as a poet, she writes, as a review for Emily's book, she writes, "Armful of Poppies is a delight. The voice behind these poems dances across the page with a galloping rhythm that is both unmistakable and inimitable. Drawing on a rich tapestry of mythology and a wide range of stylistic influences, Emily crafts a delicious read. At times she is playful and she takes indulgent pleasure in theatrically vivid imagery. Yet what she truly seems to wield is a remarkable facility for honesty and forgiveness. No matter the anguish, the spirited resilience of these poems is clear. Grace keeps slipping through." Please unmute your mics for our next poet today, Miss Emily Corden.
Thank you all so much. Oh my God, I'm getting like choked up already. Before I kind of launch into my story, want to give a little shout out to my poetry boo, Elizabeth Sophia Strauss, aka Deadpan Lizzie. We are both kind of nursing scratchy throats right now, and we were sort of talking in the chat, and she's like, "I'll do an apple cider vinegar shot with you when you go up to spit." So let's do this, girl, shall we? Where you at? All right, cool.
All right, Deadpan. Thank you for the apple cider vinegar. I would have totally done that with you guys too.
Self-care, y'all, self-care. Yeah, thank you. Like many other poets, this book involved in this community, this book would not be possible without the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I used to work there on the admin side, but was largely pretty removed from the artistic end. Usually at the end of the day, I'd work in the office, and at the end of the day, I would usually just kind of peace out and do my own thing. But when the pandemic happened, all of our programs went online, and the admin staff, it kind of fell to us to do Zoom tech for all of the various online open mics and things that we did. And it just brought me like literally close up into the world of the cafe's artistic community and all the really amazing and talented people involved in there. And my background is predominantly in theater. I'm an actress and kind of been dipping my toe more into playwriting lately, but I've always written poetry in some capacity as well, but kind of it had taken a back seat for several years. But thanks to getting involved in the online open mics, it really inspired me to keep going. And within a year's time, I had enough material to actually, publish a substantial enough chapbook. So that is kind of what made this all possible. So I'm going to be my collection, Armful of Poppies. It was, written during the pandemic and inspired by the experiences of the pandemic. And it's all about how really good and bad experiences, medicine and poison, can grow from the same sources. So I'm going to read two poems from this. This first one is called Libations. Outside the brick-walled Lebanese place, crowded brunch spot now turned farm stand. By the pistachios and salab, date molasses, orange blossom cookies, potted mint and cherry tomatoes, the wine bottle hit the sidewalk. Scents of fruit and fermentation seeping through our masks like perfume, rivers running over pavement, spilling a curbside libation for the concrete, for the gutters, for the dead. Embarrassed for the clumsy customer, I squeaked an opa as the owner lunged, broom-handed. The pretty-eyed waitress shrugged, passing my takeout. It means money. My cash tip, all 75 cents left in my wallet, confirming superstition. It seems they needed change. I thought back to last weekend when my friend and I left Brooklyn for a place long abandoned, exercising mold and memories with bleach and palo blessings. Old wine bottles nearing vinegar spilled in tribute in the backyard as the evening cheers erupted for the heroes, for the poets, for the dead. Somewhere in the daily cycle, from the inbox to the cat box to the mailbox, I'd forgotten the purple of crisscrossed wisteria, children's unicorn bike helmets, cardinal and blue jay signals, women in the drugstore line wear weepils, and the moon like a pale garnish as we lift our cups in tribute to the nighttime, to the springtime, to the dead. Some places still stay open and take loose change dug from sofas, and some gods still deal in wine instead of blood. Okay, and this next one is the title poem, Armful of Poppies. This was written right after I got my second vaccine. I roll up my sleeve as the needle approaches. Old t-shirt from Giverny, Monet's poppies blaze open, adorned in remembrance of a world rendered comatose, fairy tale beauties by evil force frozen, yet piercingly lucid as thorned vines grew over us. Awakened by pinprick, can spells be thus broken? Now my shoulder blooms red, tiny blossom unfolding, a miniature miracle caught in stop motion, small as a poppy seed, powerfully potent, birthing dreams of a better world steeped in devotion, or a return to ignorance, rush for the comfort zone? Will we trade hard-won clarity for dull myopia? But each century's plague bears its own ring of roses and scar tissue stronger than flesh that's unbroken. As the earth in her wisdom yields our cures and our opiates, may our poppy-filled arms carry emblems of hope. Thank you.
Oh man, yes, Emily Cordes, everyone, unmute your mics, please, for this.
Yes,
Beautiful, beautiful, Emily.
Yeah.
Nice job, Emily.
Oh, yes, right? There you go, Lizzie. Lizzie's got your book. Well, she had your book. These poets, right? Yes, Miro's got it as well. These poets, they all come from different backgrounds, and they're so incredible. Oh, look at Ron Martels has got a copy of the book too, right? They all come from different backgrounds, and I think it is so exemplary of the fact that you don't have to be a poet to become a poet, right? You don't have to be in the game for 10 years to finally get published. We're just trying as hard as we can to change the game. And that you all are setting that example. You're paving the way to give people who maybe they've been in the game 10 years and never been published. So like next year, we're going to be publishing a poet laureate who's never been published for a book. Like seriously, we got to do it. And then of course we have poets who just started writing and got published. So it's just so important to remember that you can become a poet anytime you want. You just have to start writing or speaking. We're all just poets. Miro and Emily Cordes will be double featuring together on Saturday night at The Word Is Right, WRITE. The event is already on The Word Is Right's page. The poster is already made. It has the Zoom on the poster. The link will be posted the day of or the day before, so you can get that and come and cheer on these poets. Buy their books, follow them. Emily, do you have anything coming up? Any sort of fun things?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Miro and I have our feature next Saturday, and I just did a staged Zoom reading of my play, So Sad, So Sexy, about the fetishization of mentally ill women. We're going to have a recording of that available very soon, and stay tuned for the live NYC stage production in March of 2020. If you follow me on any of my channels, I will promote the hell out of that, so stay tuned.
Awesome.
Sorry, about
And
March
you know-
2022. I can't talk. My God. Next year.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I saw that stage production. I saw the stage reading last night. It was so, I was enwrapped the entire time. It was amazing.
Aww.
Just so you know, next year we are rolling out the Poetry Playhouse, the Poets Playhouse, and it is for screenwriters, for playwrights. So you can sign up. Maybe through lottery or through sign up. I'm not sure specifically how we'll do that yet, but it's similar to what Rick Spisak does with the Shakespeare readings of his plays that he does from time to time. But it will be from playwrights in our community. So if you have a play or a screenplay or something that you would like to do a night of, we will take sign-ups. So you can sign up to read a part and just spend some time together doing something that is a little bit different, a little bit fun, more interactive, I think, than an open mic. And it's just a great way to get inspired. You can follow Emily Cordes on Instagram. Her handle is Postmodern Psyche. You can also visit her, Emily Cordes, on her, is just Emily Cordes your website?
On bit.ly/Emily Cordes. I'll drop everything in the chat again.
Bit.ly/Emily Cordes. If you're getting the Poets books, please get them directly from the Poets. If you would like the entire bundle of all 10 or all 20 of the books this year, the bundles are available from the press. All of the money that we make this year is going to go to fund more projects. Next year, we have anthologies, 4 anthologies on the books. We have an LGBTQ anthology, we have a survivors anthology, we have a Black fathers anthology, and we have a men's and non-binary erotic anthology. So yes, we're gonna keep rolling, keep trucking today. And as I welcome up our next poet, Ashley Edwards, I do want to remind you of something that she said in her video, which I think is so profound. She said, never give up on your dreams. I think that if you think you can't do it, if you think you can do it, or you think you can't do it, either way, you're right. Okay, so my advice to you is to think you can do it, and then we'll help you know you can do it. Because if you can just flex your belief muscles, we'll get you there, because you don't have to do it by yourself. The reason that we're launching as a group is because we're not doing it alone. We're helping one another, because together we all rise is a big philosophy of mine. And so I thank you, all the poets who are here today supporting one another. Because it's absolutely imperative that we do it together. We're going to become more successful as a team instead of on our own. So yes, never give up on your dreams. Thank you for reminding us, Ashley, about that. This is her book. It's green, sorry, on the top, so the green screen's washing it out. It was sweet before it was sour. Poems by Ashley Edwards. She's a delightful human being. Diane Murray Ward wrote in a review for Ashley's book, she says, "Is this resiliency poetry? Ashley Edwards debuts by chronicling wounding. Will she ever regain an entirely free heart and a sense of self-worth? The trials and tribulations of a loving heart who has the soul market on pain, regret. Phoenixing through self-traps, choices, and results. Familiar with them? Bittersweet or soulless sour? Taste, snack, imbibe wisely." That is a review by our very own Diane Ward. Thank you, Diane, for the wonderful review. Y'all unmute your mics. Please welcome up our next poet to the stage, Ashley. Poet, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I get started, though, I do have to give an awesome shout out to Shane and Marissa, who have been absolutely incredible through this whole process. I have been a complete pain in the ass for both the cover art and getting all my stuff in on time and stuff. So shout out to them for putting us on the scene, yo. Like, I'm so excited. Like, this is, I'm so excited. But they're incredible women, talented women. So I'm excited to be a part of this project. Also, everybody that has been published in this project is absolutely dope. And I've got some new poet friends because of this. So I am extremely excited. But as Marissa said, I got my books today. I was so freaking excited. Timing played out and it was perfect. So I got my books today and I am in love with them. The cover is perfect. Just everything about it is perfect. It's perfect. That's all I can say. Like, I am obsessed with it. But the title of the book, it was sweet before it was sour. It's basically just the journey of like the ups in life and the downs in life, specifically more towards like love and relationships, a little bit of grief as well. So it's kind of just me, and that's where we're at with it, but I'm super excited about it. Yeah, so I'm gonna read 2 poems, one from the sweet side and one from the sour side. So I'll go ahead and start with the sweet side. I want to grow young with you. Like, our love has Benjamin Button disease, so as the years pass by, it gets purer like the love of a child holding on to a pinky. I want us to be 70 years old, arguing about who made the first move. I want to plant you in my palms, so every time we argue and I ball my fist, I'm reminded of how fragile your petals are. I want to play freeze tag with our lungs on the days we take each other's breath away. Years from now, I want to look at your smile on a random rainy afternoon, put my rain boots on and splash in your dimples. I want to take car rides at 2 a.m. with nothing but our heartbeats playing. I want to laugh with you until our stomachs start hiccuping butterflies. I want to dance with you for as long as our bones are willing to work until they melt. I want to melt into this world with you. I want to be with you until this world no longer has the space for us. So that is from the sweet side. And I don't ever title my poems. I'm so sorry, y'all. So that is from the sweet side. And then I'm gonna do one from the sour side as well. And here we go. When the drugs don't help, the whiskey bottle is empty, and I'm still up thinking about you. I pray to God to take the hurt away, but lately it feels like I've been getting his voicemail, and the moon is his receptionist that never takes a message, and the sun is the janitor trying to clean up the mess, but I am a big mess to clean, which is why I think you left me here, spilt everywhere in the first place. So those are 2 poems from my book. So yeah, if you guys are interested, purchase it, but if not, I'm totally cool with y'all just sharing my post. I don't think people realize how much that makes an impact as well. Even if you can't afford it, just share it, get it out there, spread the word. But yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Yes, please tag poets, right? You're right. Tagging is so very, very important to do as we are increasingly more and more into a social media, online digital world. You can find Ashley on Facebook as Ashley Edwards and Instagram _Melange, MILANGE. Support these poets, please, please, please. It's absolutely imperative that we do that. And I thank all of you who tag the press, who tag me, who help us continue to move forward. Tagging us will help us find other poets who need to be published, push each other's work up, get everyone out into the spotlight. A great example of that is our final poet today. Philip Boykin. Wordsmith Philly, are you here still? I know he's here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
I can't
I'm
see you.
here.
Are you ready to
I'm
read?
coming.
There you are.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes,
So,
yes.
so a perfect example of why you should share the love is because I would have never had the opportunity to know that Philip has never published. I always like, yeah, when I met this poet, I thought that I was like, for sure he's published because he's this monster, right? He's not a monster. He's actually a really sweet guy. Like he's a big teddy bear, but he's like a monster poet, like Ashley, right? When I met Ashley, it was at a Virginia slam, a slam that she didn't even want to be at, apparently. And I happened to be slamming in the same slam as her, or I was watching. I don't know. I heard her read and I was like, damn, I need to publish you. I told her like that night, I said, I'm putting you on my list to publish. And that was like months and months before we actually even went to publish. And so Poet Con reached out to me and told me that Philip Boykin had never published a book. And I was like, no way. I was like, are you kidding me? We had a slot open on the roster to publish, and I reached out to Philip, and he said, "Oh, absolutely!" Like it wasn't even a choice. He was just yes. He was 100% in from day one, and I was like, "Let's go, let's just go." And I'm so honored and humbled to be presenting his book. It's historical. It's inspirational. It makes you think. It's gut wrenching. This absolutely needs to be required reading. Required reading, like period, I think in school, but definitely for African American studies, for Black history studies. This is something that the kids in middle school should be reading. It's incredible the stories that he wields about the North Atlantic slave trade. It's a moving, breathtaking book. So just strap in and be prepared. But I'll go ahead here and read the review that Fresh Linen wrote. And Fresh Linen was one of our original 10 poets, and he wrote a glowing review for you, Philip. He says, "Pain, profound, necessary. The poems in Wordsmith Philly's book, Voices of the Fallen, make each page cry. Poems like So Close, Masa's Pain, and I'm Finally Free take you on a journey through the eyes of each character in the story. At the same time, poems like Cry reveal Wordsmith's ability to pull on your heartstrings like the swiftest game of tug-of-war. As your eyes slide across each line in this book, your mind will paint the poetry in your soul. The work ethic, research, and vulnerability drip from one poem to the next in this collection. Voices of the Fallen by Wordsmith Philly holds the stories your Black history class never taught you." Please unmute your mics. Give a warm welcome to our final poet today, Wordsmith Philly.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Wow, man. I'm almost speechless right now. That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, this book is mine. I actually have a book. This is yeah. So I'll be reading a couple of poems from here. The first one I'm gonna be reading is called The Perfect Slave. That's right. Nobody can take it from me. That's right. That's right. This mine's right here. This mine's. This is awesome. All right. The Perfect Slave. How do you go about making the perfect slave? How do you make the rebellious willingly behave? When they tilt your ship of obedience, how can you surf those rocky waves? When they groom your rough look, where is your trust when they start to do your shave? How do you get those slaves to be on the same page when you know they want to kill you? no matter the gender or age. I got a couple tips. You get them when they're young. You kill men in front of their young. You harm women and snatch their young. Make sure you get those tender young. After you ruin families, tend to their young. Force them to see death, but don't mend their young. Now, you got a well-oiled machine, ready to follow your rules and live out your dreams of being a landowner without doing any work. A dream of being great while owning slaves with no worth. Ah, behold the beauty of destructive greed made by you, the one who had reproductive needs. But you still have ones that won't mind you as you whip, torture, and pillage. Call calls of obedience as you order a wounded village. The rebels will grow tired of the business that you grew. In order to end revolts of rebels, you have to display a reflection of devils. As you maim and hang rioters who run, continue till the revolts are done. Then one day, you'll see the admiration in your work. The perfect slave, a takeaway from any ways of self-worth. The perfect slave, hidden cries under worn-out rags. The perfect slave, happy to paint a smile on its tasteless face. The perfect slave. You did good, boy. You did real good. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, Philip, do you want to read another one? You got time if you want to read
Yeah.
another
Oh,
one.
yeah. I'll read another one.
All right.
I'll read another one. Okay. This one's called "I'm Finally Free." I live in hell. I work with my brothers in bondage. Myself is no more. My hurt is just gossip. I smile, but it's not real. I'm a slave who wants to feel. My scars are imagery of my painful memories, or master's abuse disguised as justful chemistry. That whip and I are on a first name basis. Pain is like a desert, and my body yearns for its oasis. I want to leave. The torturous windmill of masses needs its knee on my neck. I want to leave. I hate life. Leaving it in the dust would be a lovely reject. I want to leave. I miss nothing. And all I know is slavery. My thoughts of a better day have just passed me by. I used to love and smile and laugh, but now I'm just hating me. I'm less than nothing. I'm less than never knowing or going to be more than less. My drooping face is a result of a shell of a man. I wish I knew me, but all I know is crops and sand. My body is debilitated. My soul is exasperated. My joy is, well, my joy was never born. My healing is never more. I wonder, I wonder what it's like. I wonder what death feels like. Does it hurt? It's probably better than this. What's the point of feeling hurt? Death has to be much better than this. I take a risk and I find Master's bayonet, hoping the shark ends. Takes his time to get to the other side. I cut my wrists. waiting to see the gates of bliss. It'll be over soon. I get my chance to leave this hell that I was born into. My chance to see what life is like without life. My chance to dance with the idea of being free. It'll be over soon. As the blood pours and spills out of my worthless body, I feel my life leave my lifeless existence. My days of slavery is no more. I shed my final tear and drift into unconsciousness. I breathe my last breath and I treat death like it's an accomplishment. It's over. I'm finally free. Thank you.
Oh man, I flicked my heart over here.
Damn.
You guys, unmute your mics for Wordsmith Philly.
Woo! Incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo! Take a breath, my friend. Like, yeah, if you can get in the ring and go fight like some rounds, I think you got this.
Yeah, I can do it.
It's yours, and no one, you know what, poets, no one can ever take this away from you. This is legacy work, right? It's the hard work of hard work. This is yours. No one else's.
Gotta burp my baby. Gotta burp my baby right here.
Good thing it doesn't like shit and you have to wipe its ass.
Yeah.
It smells a lot better than a baby.
Hold on, I gotta change his diaper. Hold on, I gotta change his diaper.
Oh man. Oh,
right.
Kellen Bappy. Kellen, hi, beautiful. So all right, so Philip, what is it like being a fighter and a poet? Because that question was raised earlier.
Okay, what's it like? It is quite the balance. How it all happened. So it's kind of like it's like they kind of like met each other in a weird way. So I'm known in my hometown as the poet. That's me, you know. But like when I got bullied a lot in high school, like I actually lost this fight to this guy in high school, and then I started taking martial arts around like 16. And you know, I used to do it all in secret, you know. So nobody really knew I could, you know. They knew, people that knew me knew I could fight, but they didn't, you know. So like best thing I can tell you is it's pretty cool doing it. You just gotta kind of just know how to balance it. So how I usually would do it, I'd practice during the weekend, do my practice during the week, do my martial arts, and then go to open mics, like whenever I had a chance, you know. And it was always like I always treated them both kind of like hobbies. So that's how it was easy for me to kind of just basically do both. But the best way I can tell you is if it's two things that you like, you know, you just gotta learn how to balance it. Because like I look at it like yin and yang kind of a thing. It's like, you know, I need my light, you know, which is poetry, and then I need my dark stuff because everybody has like dark things, and I put all that into my fighting, you know. So it's like there was a saying I heard, I think it was Sun Tzu that said it. It's like it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So it's just kind of like, yeah, so it's kind of like that. Yeah. So yeah, like for me, it's just like you gotta have both. Like if you're gonna be like super light and gentle and all that, that's totally cool. But then people are gonna be like, oh, he's super gentle. Do whatever I want to him. He ain't gonna do nothing. He's gentle. But then if you have on the other side, you can't be all just angry and just violent and aggressive all the time. Because if people are like, gosh, I don't want to hang out with this dude, super angry all the time, you know? So it's like you gotta have a balance. So for me,
well,
like,
I
you
know
gotta
a
be
lot of
beautiful
fighters
and badass.
I
Yeah.
don't think that they're like angry and aggressive. I think you guys
Yeah.
get a bad rap for that.
Yeah, everybody thinks that we're angry all the time. Like we're not
You're
angry
not.
all the time. Like I
It's
can't do
not
that.
like that.
Just I can't wake up in the morning and just be angry all the time. I can't do it. Like I can't. I'm like,
You
no, I
know,
can't do that.
it's so intellectual. Fighting is so mental.
It is.
It's incredible. You have to be so yes, there's a physical requirement, but you have to be mentally all there. And it's
Yeah.
very much like chess. And I love games. I love anything that's mental. I love it. Puzzles, and people are just puzzles. And so fights are really just puzzles. And you have to kind of force your opponent to make mistakes and do things. And you got to be thinking a million steps ahead, and you got to be fiercely competitive. Like, you got to like winning, but you gotta hate losing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love winning, but I hate losing.
Yeah,
So
like for me, it was like another quote that I heard from Dan Gable. He said if you win, win with dignity and honor. If you lose, lose with dignity and honor, but don't lose.
yeah, just
It's
don't
like,
lose.
yeah.
Hey, is Thomas Connor? In fact, someone gave me a great idea. Generally, gave me a great idea today. Thomas, are you here? Pop on the screen. Thomas Connor, I know you're here. I'm gonna call you out in the most lovingly way.
Thomas, where you at, Thomas?
Thomas.
Where
Thomas
at?
Connor, everybody. He'll be like,
You can hear. He's here, but he's not here.
Maybe he fell asleep. I fall asleep all the time.
It's sleepy,
Anyways, I think that you and Thomas Connor would make a great pairing as a double feature for Word is Right. And I don't know where Thomas is, but he's missing this golden opportunity to say hey to you. And Thomas is also, he's a black belt in martial arts. I don't know if it's in mixed martial arts.
Nice.
I know it's in some sort of podiatry. But I'm just kidding, Thomas. He's not here to defend himself, so I can jab at him a little. Pun intended. But yeah. So, anyways, all right, y'all. So thank you.
You know what else? You know what else? Thomas does kick ass in poetry.
Yes,
he's an incredible poet. But I think Thomas Connor and Wordsmith Philly together at an open mic night will be fun, and I can do the poster like an octagon.
That would be nice. I would like that.
Sort of like a multi-generational cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. All right, so as we're finishing up today, first of all, thank you all of our incredible poets who came to read. Just to refresh everyone's memory, we had Adverses Reaction by Nick Paleologos, Everything I Think Is All in My Mind by Generalissimo Brian Franco, Morning Flowers by Gigi, Lady Lotus by Rosalind Diaz, Schoolyard Crushes and Prozac Prescriptions by Tori Letts, Ebb and Flow by Miro, The Struggle Within, Pam Rice, Armful of Poppies by Emily Cortez, It Was Sweet Before It Was Sour, Ashley Edwards, and of course, to round out the evening, we have Voices of the Fallen by Wordsmith Philly, Philip Boykin. So honored and humbled to be a part of this journey. We will be back for the actual book signing, which will happen Sunday, December 12th. So if you, the event is already on Red or Green Books, Red, READ, the Zoom link, the poster, it's all made already. Not this Saturday. This Saturday, we have Emily Cortez and Miro at Word is Right are going to be double featuring. And then in 2 Saturdays, we have the Women's Erotic Anthology release. All right. So AC Bourne is in the building. She is part of this anthology. Also, Elizabeth Strauss is in this anthology. Kemlyn Bappy as Sing is in this anthology. So many women, 31 women, almost 23,000 words of just hotness. It is a big, thick, heavy book. Cover art again by Shane Mayer with Guerrilla Poets. So we'll be doing that book release party on December 4th. And then after that, in the evening, we will have the Grand Slam. It is the slam of slams. The best of the best are going to be there at Word is Right, competing with one another. Then we have the anniversary party for the Word is Right will be the December 18th. That's a Saturday, and it is the feature of the features. We're inviting everyone back who is featured at Word is Right this year to come and read again. I believe we have 16 on the bill already. So you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a sensational evening. Tickets are $5. That's it. They're only $5. We only get $3.10 of that, but that is really to help us fund the Zoom room for another year, since we don't charge for our events. Definitely, please get on board with that. Almost every night of the week we got shows at The Word Is Right. So look into that, check into that. My book is available, Conversations with Grief. It's only $15 plus shipping. If you would like to buy the entire bundle of all 10 books, they are available. They're $130 plus $20 priority shipping. So $150 for all 10, 2 to 3 days shipping. If you would like to buy all 20 books, that is also available on the website for a reduced price. The original 10 plus these 10. Christmas is coming up. The holidays are coming up. Hanukkah is coming up. Let's go. You want to be able to support these poets. Otherwise, if you're just wanting to pick one book or 2 books, please go get them directly from the poets. I want them to sell through their books and make some money on this launch. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you, Shane Maynor from Guerrilla Poets, for the artwork and for coming tonight to talk about things. Remember, please never give up on your dreams. It can be a reality. Thank you so much for supporting us. I really look forward to seeing you all again for the book signing in December. I'm available if anyone needs anything. You know where to find me, Marissa Prada on Facebook, Prada Painting and Poetry on Instagram. I do 3 shows a week, plus a show for Ain't Right Tribe, Wet Words Wednesdays. If you like the erotica, you can find me at The Word Is Right, WRITE, with Ma Dukes, and of course, Red or Green Books, READ, redorgreenbooks.com. Y'all have a wonderful night. Cheers to you poets. Congratulations. Humbled and honored to be on this journey with all of you. And I will see you in December. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Marissa.
You're welcome, Pam. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.